Is the world becoming more dangerous now? In my opinion, yes and no, and I'll explain why. So obviously these are scary times with the pandemic, but I have a couple of thoughts in this regard, in regard to whether the world is becoming a more dangerous place. I think a lot of it has to do with how we react to situations and to fear. If we're more afraid, then the world is a more dangerous place because the law of attraction is real. And if we're afraid of things, then they say that fear is the opposite of love. So, in a way, paradoxically, if we can meet our challenges without fear or with less fear, then that actually makes us stronger. Like you've heard the expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I want to talk a little bit about my own life and how it relates to this, because I've been thinking about this quite a bit, actually. Not all the time, but it's been kind of in my mind a little bit. And I used to be a lot afraid of the world, and I think other people, because I was a lot of people pleaser, and I tried to appease people because I think I was born kind of with a gentle soul, an old soul, and I was born in Maine, which is like the safest state in the country. It was then, and hopefully still is. But I just wasn't exposed to a lot of things, and like the harshness of the world just seemed very foreign to me, and I never really adjusted to it that much, to be honest with you. But I think, over the years I did adjust to it. The reason is, I don't know if my soul created this or what the circumstances were, but I just had a lot of, I wouldn't say emotional abuse in my life, but I would call it, emotional abuse. I mean, I just had a lot of people in my life that took advantage of me, betrayed my trust, and I think it happened over and over and over again. I think that my psychology was a lot behind it. I think I was kind of giving off an energy and a vibration. I mean, we live in a vibrational universe, as you probably know, and I think I was just, I hate to say this, I'm laughing now, but it's not funny. I think I just gave off the energy of like a patsy, of like, this guy is just, can be taken advantage of. And I never really saw the world as a place where you had to kind of stand up for yourself. Intellectually I did, but I just felt like, I felt like we live in a harmonious and vibrationally friendly world, and that, things just work out. And I got kind of disabused about it. Like, I've come around kind of the same place. I think that, the world is a friendly place, but I think it's a friendly place, especially like if you have a sense of strength and you feel like you can protect yourself if need be. Like now I find I don't have to really stand up for myself that much because I know that I can. And if you give off the energy, it's kind of like in the animal kingdom, they have predators and prey. And if you're a prey, they tend to run away and try to escape. I mean, I think for most of my life, I was trying to escape. And I'm going to tie this back into the original premise and question of the thing, is the world becoming more dangerous? I mean, for a lot of people, I think it is becoming more dangerous because they're becoming more fearful. Not dangerous per se, but dangerous in their psyche, that you carry that fear around you, like you're afraid of other people, and you can't get the benefits of other people if you're afraid of them. I mean, it's important to take necessary precautions, but it's not good to be paranoid. You have to find that fine balance in life. Like, I don't agree with a lot of things that Trump says, but I do agree with the general statement that the treatment can't be worse than the disease. We have to take the pandemic extremely seriously and take all kinds of precautions, but we can't live our life in fear. I mean, if we live our life in fear, maybe if the pandemic was 20 times worse than it is, and it's so bad already, maybe I would be paralyzed with fear also. I mean, I am taking all the necessary precautions, but, I'm excited to get back out in the world also, because I think that, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, you're always playing like offense or defense in life. Like, I'm naturally kind of a cautious person. It's not in my personality to be really bold. I mean, I had to learn that in life you have to be, while still respecting other people, somewhat bold, because fortune does favor the bold. I mean, I've only learned that the last maybe year or two, because that doesn't come naturally to me at all. Like I said, I'm more of a peacemaker, I'm more of a, appeaser, and I just got taken advantage of by so many people. And I think part of it was my nature. Part of it is just that I was born and put into situations where people are not very sympathetic, and they're just really harsh and not very kind, to be honest, and just kind of like cruel. I mean, I don't like to be blunt like that, but I can't really say it any other way. And I think that, I'm not sure if this is the right term, but I think over time I just leveled up. I mean, I never felt like I could do that. I never felt like I could, just psychologically, do well in that kind of environment. And I think, it's taken me almost my whole life to feel that I can. And I didn't do it by, doing an eye for an eye, because I still feel that, like they say, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. I just got to the point where I felt stronger and I could just ignore other people that were mean to me. And I wasn't even mean to them. They would just go out of my life after a period of time, because life always tests you. They're going to be mean to you, and you're just going to ignore them, and you're just going to do your own thing, and they're going to be meaner because they're mad that you're ignoring them. And I wouldn't even totally ignore. I would still be nice, but I would just not spend much time with them, or as little as possible, without being totally rude about it. And eventually they got the message, and either they start acting nicer or they just disappear. 99% of the time they just disappear. I don't like to say this because this is sounds very blunt also, but I don't think they maybe have the capacity to be nice. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about that, because I think you have to always look at people with fresh eyes, and I'm very open to people being nice. So I hope this isn't too much of a soliloquy, but I think the personal experience really infuses the question that, you could be born into hard times, you could deal with hard times, and sometimes it could go on for decades, or, however long it goes on in your life, but it doesn't mean that you can't level up to it. It doesn't mean that you can't, after a while, get used to it and become kind of like a different person. I feel kind of like a metamorphosis, like a caterpillar to a butterfly. I was born all innocent and sweet and everything, and I'm still innocent and sweet, but I'm innocent and sweet with my eyes open. I'm innocent and sweet, I'm nice to everybody, but I stay away from certain people. And I have a much better radar now to basically feel people's energy. Like Teal Swan, somebody I like a lot, for her ideas and to listen to. She talks a lot about vibration and seeing people's auras and things like that. And I don't see auras, but I can kind of sense almost just from my experience, what people's vibrations are, their energy, their emotions. I can't do it all the time, but I'm pretty good at it now, just kind of a judge of character. And I thought I was when I was younger, but I wasn't, because I, kept making the same mistakes over and over again. So the world, one other thing comes to mind related to this, and that is that Robert Kiyosaki wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I didn't realize he's in his 70s now. He still looks a lot younger, but he's written so many great books. And I saw an interview with him one time, and he said a lot of the investments he does, people say, I'm laughing because it's kind of funny in a way. A lot of the investments he does, he says, people say that they're risky. Oh, you can't do that, it's too risky. And he said something like, this is an exact quote, but it's probably pretty close. He said, it's not the investment that's risky, it's the investor. He said, any investment can be risky if you don't know what you're doing. And I totally agree with that. I mean, some investments are probably, inherently, obviously more risky than others, but it's kind of a life. You can do almost any business, you can do almost anything if you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, then even the most simple businesses could be very risky. So I would say that, the pandemic is scary. Take all the necessary precautions. Don't be paranoid, because don't let the disease be worse than the cure. And, if you find yourself in a situation that, people just seem stronger than you or taking advantage of you, the world seems like a dangerous place. I mean, it takes a lot of time, but, you can transform yourself as a person, and you can, level up. Thank you.